Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. We are back with another YouTube video, but this time the format is different if you haven't noticed. Completely different. So yeah, I'm making YouTube videos again, but they're not going to be the same as the ones before. And I'm not going to be uploading daily. It's a new format. So let me explain to you how things will work around this house now. So, firstly, videos will be every week rather than every day now. And that's because I want to edit these videos. I want to make them actually useful, substantial, watchable. So yeah, I'm not going to be making them every day because then I can't edit them. 2, they will actually have something that you can take away from them, some kind of information that I can tell you guys. So yeah, I know that a lot of the videos that I used to do, well, it was just me rambling a lot. And yeah, I'm a reformed man and I want to make quality content, not just my ramblings. So yeah, that will be different. I will be trying to put effort into this. So quality content. And yeah, I'm making these videos now. It's different to before where I was just making the videos just to kind of have that skill of making content in some kind of way. Now it's all about building in public. And that's because I want to grow over the next few months. I want to go diving deep and build things. And I don't want this to just stay within my head. I want this to be out in the world for you guys to critique, to give feedback, improvements, and tell me what you guys think, you know? I'm a dumb guy. I'm ignorant. I don't know much about the world. And I'm hoping that putting my learnings on the internet will expose me to so many opportunities and things I can learn from. So, building in public and a sense of accountability. I mean, by putting these videos out there, sharing my goals with YouTube and my 3 viewers, I'm sure that I'll actually get somewhere, making sure that I get stuff done. And so, yeah, making videos now. Now, if you didn't know, my overall goal has always been to make a startup and to make a successful one at that, not just any kind of startup. And so, this is just a continuation of that. I want to work on something significant. Before, I had this mindset, and I think I've talked about this in other videos, but I just wanted to get rich as fast as possible. But now, I don't believe in that way. I think that's a misguided way, because when you try to optimize for what makes money in the short term, usually it doesn't make that much money in the long term. And, you'll see that to be true. Really, my intentions back then, building solely for money, I think is very shaky and something that isn't fulfilling, especially as me, who's a Muslim, have a purpose higher than just to fulfill my worldly needs. I want to create something essential, something that the world needs. I'm talking about something like AWS. When that server crashed in US East 1 or whatever it was called, half the internet just broke down. That's what I mean when I say essential technology. Something that the world riots over when it isn't available. Just think about Google search, or Instagram. If these services went out for just a day, for 24 hours, just imagine the outlash, the backlash, and how much people would be screaming out, rioting over these not being available. I think that's how you know something is hugely significant, where if it's just completely dead for a couple of hours or a day and people are losing their minds, that's how you know something is essential. And the thing is, there's not many good people running these things. Things like AWS, Meta, Google, so all run by pretty evil people. People who've been involved in things such as helping the IDF perform their genocide. Look at Microsoft. They pulled out of the deal, but trust me, they have their fingers stuck in some disgusting places. But that's why I want to create something significant for myself. I want good, moral, righteous people building the future. I'd say I'm one of those people. So what should I work on? That's the question that I had when I was thinking about how do I want to contribute to the future. And call me corny, call this a really normie take, but AI is the gold rush of our times. Believe it or not, AI is hugely significant. It's an order of magnitude that is better than all the solutions that we had before. It's something that you have to consider about in this day and age if you're going to make a business. If you're going to solve a problem, the AI has to be on your mind. You have to think about, okay, like, will this be replaced by an AI native solution? So yes, I think AI is the most important thing to work on right now. But here's the thing. I don't believe in the application layer of AI anymore. AI agents, I'm sure they're great. You know, lots of people are raising hundreds and millions and billions of dollars for these AI agent things. And I used to be a huge advocate for them. You know, my classmates in university will tell you, I used to go crazy for AI agents. But I just don't feel that way anymore. And that's because of things like Dexter from Human Layer. Human Layer is a company that is trying to make all code written by LLMs. The thing about LLMs though is that they're only right with their code 70 to 80% of the time. Now that's really bad, you know. If you look at a website, if its runtime is 99%, that sounds good, right? 99% of the time it's working. But that 1% is hugely significant. If a website isn't available for 1% of the time, that's really bad. Like, imagine if it's a 99% runtime, let's say the Apple website had this. That means it's down for 1% of the time. In a year, that's like 3.6 days, let's say 4 days. It's not available for that time. Apple will lose a significant number of sales because of that, which is horrible. Now just imagine how bad being wrong 20% of the time is. People are making applications using AI, and the underlying models are just not good enough. And we're starting to see that more and more. And of course you can engineer it. But here's the issue. With each new model, each new state of the art, there comes a new paradigm, a new way of thinking about things. It's very clear that the way that we're making these foundation models right now, there's some missing pieces, because this won't reach AGI just like so. There's something that we're missing. And with each change we see a huge shift in what these AI models can do and what they're capable of. Just think about this. Around just over like 2 years and like 1 month ago, ChatGPT 3 was released for the first time into the world and changed history. That was 2 years ago. Now we're on ChatGPT 5. And bear in mind, we had to go through 01, 03, 4.1, 4.5, a load of nonsense. And looking back on it, ChatGPT 3 was so bad in hindsight. I think it was 3.5. Either way, both of them were so bad compared to what we have today. We have other companies working on it now. Gemini, we have Claude, we have so many different options. DeepSeek. So basically, the paradigm is always shifting. To work on the application layer means you're working on a platform that is constantly moving around, and it will move around significantly in the future, that is for sure, because we're just not at the place where we need to be. So I have to make a choice about where I want to build my future. What do I want to become an expert in? To work on the application layer of AI is not something I myself can bet on. And if you're my age and you're looking for something to dedicate years of research into, the application layer is just not it. It's very hot right now. Lots of funding, lots of money going about. What these can achieve, I would be very skeptical of. So I was thinking about it. What are the real problems with AI? And the first ones that come to mind are the architecture, the design itself is not where it needs to be. We can't achieve AGI with how LLMs are right now. And that's just not my opinion. That's also the opinion that is quite popular now, that people like Andrej Karpathy have been saying that we can get more compute, we can get more resources and throw it at the AI. It's just not going to achieve AGI. It just doesn't have that intelligence yet. Secondly, I think data is a huge issue. We're running out of data to scrape. These big, huge AI research labs have already gone through the internet twice over, finding more and more stuff. We have things like Outlier paying minimum wage for people to create AI responses. There's a limit on the data right now, and people are trying to break that limit by creating synthetic data. I think these are all places that are valid to look into, where innovation will happen. And third, there's the compute. So, okay, the way the architecture is right now, it's not going to work, but scaling vertically will still lead to good results. And so we're seeing lots of these AI companies investing heavily into data centers. And I see potential in this. And it's something that I'm quite interested in. I want to work with hardware. I think it's quite fascinating tinkering with some metal bits and bobs. And that's something that I want to bet on. I went to a hackathon recently, and it was held by Cactus Compute. These guys are making the inference layer, so the ability to run these LLM models on mobile devices. That was when I thought, wow, this is something I can really get behind. It's an idea that really interests me. And that's because mobile phones are so much more predominant within society than desktops and laptops are. If you look at some countries in Asia and Africa, I'm from Bangladesh, these countries, they did something called leapfrogging. They went over desktops and they went straight to phones. Making AI able to run on phones will be a massive shift in technology, because suddenly these guys can use AI really well on their primary device. This is something that I truly believe in. So the question that will be guiding me for the next few months, at the very least, is how do we get AI to work on mobile phones? I'll be researching this, seeing how I can solve this, and I'll be sharing my insights right here. But what's the game plan? If you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So here's what I am imagining I'll do over the next few months. So firstly, I want to learn about AI from the full stack, from the applications to the foundational models to the compute that's running it. I want to know everything about it. That way I can understand the problems within the space much more. But more specifically, I'm interested in the compute side. I want to be contributing to open source projects like PyTorch, like Cactus. I think these things are really cool. And I want to read with the latest research, papers with code, archive. I think these things will be really interesting and will help me to work with the frontier of technology right now. I want to build significant projects. I think the best way to learn is by building, by rebuilding sometimes. For example, rebuilding an inference server. I think that would be super interesting. That's in the future, definitely. And definitely working at a startup trying to solve these problems. If I can work at some place like Cactus, that would be pretty sick. So with these videos that I post every week, I'm going to be putting my goals, what I want to achieve throughout the week, and then telling you guys, okay, did I achieve them? And keep me accountable for what I've done. My goals for next week. So firstly, Firstly, I want to do 50 LeetCode questions. And why am I doing leak code? Isn't leak code cringe? Well, actually, I started doing leak code questions and they're pretty fun. Turns out if you're doing it for more than just a superficial goal of trying to get a corporate job, it's actually kind of fun. So I want to do 50 of these questions just so I can learn about Python and C++, which were the main languages in the space. And I wanted to do leak code anyway. So yeah, that's 50 leak code questions. And then also I want to create an AutoGrad application. And what AutoGrad is automatic gradient calculation. So this is used a lot in machine learning. And yeah, I want to make one myself in C++. That should be a great learning opportunity. And we'll just see how that goes. I'll let you guys know on the 21st of December 2025. If I haven't achieved it by then, I haven't really thought about what the consequences are. You get to call me a bum on the next video's comment section. Now, I want to talk about why I had this mindset shift. If you notice at the start of the video, there was a hadith, a saying of the Prophet, peace be upon him. He said, "Verily Allah has enjoined goodness to everything. So when you kill, kill in a good way. And when you slaughter, slaughter in a good way. So every one of you should sharpen his knife and let the slaughtered animal die comfortably." And by the way, before people start spazzing out about it, this is referring to killing animals, not people. Just so you know, I'm not going to be beheading anyone anytime soon. But yes, this is referring to killing animals well when you're butchering them. And why did I bring this up? Well, here it's mentioned that you should have ihsan. Ihsan is the Islamic idea of excellence, utmost excellence, doing your absolute best, doing things beautifully. And it's kind of funny that the hadith, the saying, refers to slaughtering animals, something kind of insignificant. He didn't say, when you ride your horse, ride as excellently as possible. But it really goes to show how important it is to have ihsan, to have excellence in every facet of your life. And that's something I've been neglecting for the longest time. I've always thought, hey, well, I got it done. It's better than it not being done. So, yay to me, right? But here's the thing as well. When you don't try, when you don't aim to make something great, when you're happy with good, you're going to lose out. You're going to fall behind. You'll be forgotten in history. And your contributions will be pretty insignificant for the most part. I came across this clip of Johnny Ive. This guy is a designer for, I guess, people are rumoring that it's the physical layer of AI. He's trying to make a gadget for OpenAI. And this guy used to work at Apple. In fact, he was the vice president of design. It's a very senior guy. He worked directly with Steve Jobs. And he was saying this when Steve Jobs was around. He used to say, how do we create the best, the absolute best possible? And he added that, a common argument against that way of thinking is that Apple has all the budget in the world, all the money in the world to do something like this. But the truth is, the thing that makes this really killer is that Steve Jobs used to think like this when Apple was almost going bankrupt. When they were on that brink of death, he asked all of his employees to say, how do we create the most beautiful, the most perfect, the best product possible? And that's a mindset that's so missing from companies these days. Even the good ones or the best ones, they just don't think like that anymore. To give you an example, Apple used to inscribe their signatures on the inside of the Mac cases. That's something that no one will ever see. Not many of their customers will ever see that. And yet they did it anyway, because that's what perfection is. That's what attention to detail is. It it doesn't have to be seen by anyone. It's there because it's beautiful. It adds love to the product. And when I found out about these stories, it really inspired something within me, that whatever I make, I want to make it beautiful and significant, with love, affection. I want it to inspire joy within other people. So that's the mindset I have. I hope it works well for you guys too. Try it out. Try making the things that you touch into gold. That's the video for this week. Alright, see ya.